time to give the shiur on the remaining half an amud of Elein Agoylen. So starting with the base on the base by the Mishnah. We're going to record it. So wherever you are, whatever time of the day it is, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And let's start. So the Mishnah that you base on the base starts as follows. Kayoytze boy. Likewise, Ritzech shegolo le'ir miklat, Ritzech who was exiled to a ir miklat v'rotzu anshe lechabdoi yoimelem Ritzech. If people wanted to mechabed him in any sort of way, he should kind of tell them, no, I'm a Ritzech. Shoygeg, but I'm a Ritzech. If they say we still want to be mechabed you kabel mehen, so then he should be mekabel. Shenema v'zed dvar haritzech. It says in the pasuk v'zed dvar haritzech. Different farshim how to learn this, but the way it's explained in certain places is v'zed dvar haritzech means that this is the word of the ritzech. As long as the ritzech, he just says one word. In other words, he just has to tell them that he's a ritzech, and then if they still want to be mechabed him, so then that's good enough. So that's topic number one of the Mishnah, that if they want to be mechabed him, he has to tell them he's a ritzech. Nevertheless, once he says that he's a ritzech, so then that's it. If they want to be mechabed him after that, he can be. It's fine. And that's the zed dvar ritzech. The lashon dvar singular means he just needs to tell them one thing, and then that's enough, and they can continue being mechabed. The second topic of the Mishnah is with regards to whether the ritzech has to pay rent to the owners, to the people who own the city. So there's a Levian. So the Mishnah says, "Malim hoyisachal Levian divrei Rabbi Yehuda." Yehuda holds a taka. The Roitzchem would pay money to the Levian, rent, to live in the cities of the Levian. There's houses for the Roitzchem, obviously, and they have to pay. They wouldn't have to pay. That's the topic number two of the Mishnah. I'm finding another machlokes in Rabbi Yehuda. The choizel l'shrar shahayabah. Does the Ritzeach, after he goes out of Ir Miklat, obviously when the Klein dies, does he go back to his original job? We're talking about a case where he has a mechubadika job. Does he go back to his mechubadika job that he had till now? Do we say no? You killed b'shagi, you can't go back to this mechubadika job that you had earlier. So we have machlokes in Meir Yehuda. V'choizel l'shrar shayba did Meir. Meir holds that he does go back to his shrara, his mechubadika position. Rabbi Yehuda meloi hayachoizel l'shrar shayba. Okay, so that's the Mishnah. Three things. Number one, that if they want to mechabed him while he's in their mikvah, he has to tell them he's a ritzeh, and if they still want to be mechabed him, that's okay. You can let them. Number two is machlokes Rabbi Yehuda whether the ritzeh would pay rent to the people, the Levium who own the city, and number three, whether when he leaves their mikvah, the ritzeh goes back to his position of power or authority or respectful job that he has. And we'll see in Rashi some more details. Just ha'ara, the first word of the Mishnah, kayoytze boy, is difficult to understand. What does kayoytze boy likewise? And what are we comparing it to? So some say that it's actually, this Mishnah actually appears in the Masechah Shvius as well, talking about Mishamet B'choivas, and over there, it's the hemshech to some other topic, and over there it makes sense to say kayoytze boy. Similarly, but here it doesn't have any havana. There's other explanations given as well that it's the hemshech to some say it's actually supposed to be the last few words of the previous Gemara, and other pshatim as well. But that's something which is discussed. What's the kayoytze doing over here? And I think the simplest way of explaining it is that the Mishnah in Shvius says the same kata, and there it's the hemshech to din in Shvius, so it says kayoytze, and there makes sense. So it's kind of just a copy over here. Let's see Rashi. Imam the apple became on the last. The Rashi of the Mishnah. We still want to honor you. You can let them honor him because he said what he had to say, and afterwards they're allowed to be mekabel. What does this mean? The Reitzchem b'shoigeg would rent the houses in the city. The third topic of the Mishnah was if the Ritzech was a Nasi, he was a prince, Nasi, he was a leader, or Rosh Beis Abu, he was the head of the family, head of the dynasty, I guess. He goes back to his greatness, to his position of authority, his position, the respectful position that he had, even though he's a Ritzech. But once he leaves Ermik, he can go back to his shrar, he can go back to his job. what's talking about Makkos Malim Hayisachar Levim or not? So the Tosfos says that the issue over here is, in other words, do we say that with Zeus HaMelech it should be in the Eir Miklat? So they don't have to pay the Levim. The Levim have to let them be. Or do we say no? True that they go to Eir Miklat, but they still have to pay rent to the people who are hosting them, people who are giving up their houses which belong to them. The Gemara is going to learn out of Pesukah. Let's see in the Gemara. Amr of Kahana, we're going to have two opinions because we know we've mentioned earlier there's two categories of Eir Miklat. There's the 6 cities of the Eir Miklat, but besides them, there's Valei Tinu, Arba Meshtayim. There's the 42 cities of the Levium, which could also serve as Eir Miklat. We explained some differences earlier. Some are called Ladas, some are called Shalei Ladas. There's differences between the 6 and the 42. Here too, by the way, we're going to see a difference between the 6 and the 42. But before we get there, the point is, there's a discussion. In other words, when we said Malim HaYisachar Levim, what were we talking about? Are we talking about the 42 cities? Or are we talking about the 6 cities? So Reb Kahana originally thinks we're talking about the 6 cities. In other words, the Machlokes is going to get to the 6 cities. With regards to the 42 cities, for sure there will be Malim Sachar Levim. And the only day that you don't pay the Levim is in the 6 cities. That's what Reb Kahana says. That's the inside. Amr Reb Kahana, Machlokes b'sheish, the Mar Sav L'chem Miktita, Mar Sav L'chem B'chol Tzorchei. Pasuk says, if you look in Torah Oyer Shalom Aleph, the city shall be for you as a miklat, as a safe haven. So Kahana says, so Kahana explains that, and that's talking about the 6 cities, the 6 primary Ari miklat cities. The Marasav Lachem Liklita, one man the Amma holds, Lachem, and the Pasuk says that it should be to you the miklat. It means literally, Liklita, it should be for you to protect you from the Goy Ladam, but nothing more. They're not yours in any other way, and therefore you have to pay rent to the Levim. Or Marisol Lachem Lechol Tzorchechem, no, the city is yours for all your needs. The rates can get whatever they need, and they don't pay Sachar Levim, they don't pay rent to Levim. That's all with regards to the 6 cities, says Reb Kahana, where we have a pasuk Lachem, and it's different how you explain the word Lachem. With regards to the 42 extra cities of the Levim, Divrei HaKoil, Hayumalin Lohem Sachar. Everyone agrees that there it's not really an Eir Miklat, it's the cities of the Levim. They also serve as Eir Miklat. In that case, for sure, you have to pay rent to the Levim. That is the shitta of Reb Kahana. Rava argues, Amali Rava. Rava said to no. Say, okay, it's signed somewhere else. Fine. It's not a Hagah of Girsa, so let's just leave it. Amali Rava Havadai Lachem Lechol Tzorchechem Nashma. For sure, the word Lachem, which it says in the gate of the 6 cities, for sure means Lechol Tzorchechem. No one disputes that, and therefore the 6 cities for sure you don't pay Sachar. So therefore, Rava says no. Machlokes is barba understand. It's the other way around. Machlokes is with regards to 42 cities. The Marisol Valeim Tin, the pasuk Valeim Tin, that you add on to the 6 cities, the 42 cities. So one opinion holds, the one who says Loi Hayumalim Sachar Levim holds. Sorry, the one who says Malim Hayisachar Levim says Valeim Tin means that you add to the 6. As so far as Klita is concerned, not that they have exactly the same din. Just like the 6 protect, so to the 42 protect. But in this case, for the 42, you have to pay rent. Or Marisava, the other opinion says no. In other words, this is the shitta of Remeah. Lo Yumalim Sachar. Or Marisava, yeah. Valem Titnu Kihanach. Just like the 6, just like the 6, everyone agrees. The Lachem tells me the that the roads can use it for whatever they want. By 6, by 6, so we have Machlokes of Kahana and Rava how to explain the Mishnah. The Mishnah has a Machlokes in Rabbi Meir, whether Malim Sachar, Loyoi Malim Sachar. But Kahana learns that the whole Machlokes in regards to the 6 cities. But with regards to the 42 cities, everyone holds that yes, Malim Sachar, you do pay the rent to the Levim. Rava argues and says no, it's the other way around. But the 6 cities, everyone holds you do not pay rent to the Levim because pasuk is lachem, which means it's for you for whatever you need. But by the 42, it doesn't say the word lachem. Rather, it says valeim tinu. You add a 42 cities, so that they have an argument. Valeim tinu means literally just the same as the 6. So just like the 6 of lechol tzorchechem, so also the 42 for whatever, and they don't pay rent to the Levim. Or alternatively, do we say that no? When he says valeim tinu means just for the purpose of klita, just for the purpose of protecting, are the 42 compared to the 6 or added to the 6? But for all other dinim, for the din of malan sachar. So you do have to pay rent. Let's see Rashi. Machlokes b'sheish Ari Miklat. Lachem the roitzkim nam hoy lachem Ari Miklat. It says to the roitzkim that the city should be for you as a miklat, as a safe haven, as a protected, protected from the Goel Adam. And the question is whether lachem means lemiklat or l'chol tzarchechem. The Kana says it only means the Tanoim actually argue whether lachem means the l'chol tzarchechem. Rabbi says no, lachem for sure means l'chol tzarchechem, and in loyma and amsachah the machlokes the Remain and the Mishnah is only talking about the other 42 where it doesn't say the word lachem. It says valem titnu. So then we argue. Okay. So that's the first piece of Gemara. The second piece of Gemara deals with the question of chayzel l'shurara. Going back to the original job. So let's see the Gemara. Chayzel l'shurara shayif. Tanu Rabban. We looked in the Brisa. The Shavel Mishpach to the Chuzas Habayis of Yashin. The pasuk says the Shavel Mishpach should return to his family, and the Chuzas Habayis and to the inheritance of his father Yoshua. He shall return. Now this pasuk is not talking about Ir Miklat. Rather, the pasuk is talking about an Eved Ivri. Yeah, if you look in the pasuk, it's Torah Gimel. The Yatzamim Achuvan Imah Shavel Mishpach. I believe it's talking about Yovel. Actually, the pasuk. But we learn Bechlal when the Eved Ivri goes out, whether in Yovel, whether after 6 years. So there's a machlokas where he goes back to. In other words, the fact that he's an Eved Ivri does that kind of like, take him down in status, and therefore when he goes back to being Ois Eved, when he goes back to his family, can he be Choyzel L'Shrar or not? It's still an Eved Ivri. We're going to apply Eved Ivri to Golos. Let's see inside. The fact that the pasuk the Shavel Mishpach returns to his family means that he returns to his family, he goes home, his wife, his kids, his parents, whatever. But he doesn't go back the mashech zikavaisa, meaning to those jobs, that respectful position that he inherited from his family. It seems in general people got respectful positions, came Yerusha from your parents. So he says it means the mishpachtoi yashav. It says the diok, I guess, the shavel mishpachtoi, but not to the jobs, the respectful job that he had earlier, which he got as a result of his Yerush from his parents. Because it says in the pasuk, from there we learn just like his parents. You can go back to the position which his parents, his father had, and he does go back to Shar. And then the Brisa continues, V'chein begoila, Kashu Amor, V'chein begoila, the same applies to Golos, that it's the same whether he can go back to whether he just goes back to his family, or he also goes back to the Shrar, he also goes back to the respectable position he had before he went in Galus. And where is this learned from? When it says in the pasuk says Kashu Oina, because it says in the pasuk Yashul, meaning if you look at the pasuk Torah Gimel, the pasuk says the Yatzam Ima Chuvan Ima. This is about Avedivri, yeah. The Shavel Mishpachtoi Ve'el Achuzas Avoisav, and he didn't need to say the word Yashul. That's the Shavel Mishpachtoi because Avoisav returned to his family. Why did he say Yashul an extra word? So he's trying to tell you someone else also returns in the same way as the Avedivri, and that's talking about the person who went to Galus the Ritzech B'Shayim. Yeah, Shenemo Kashu. Oh, and the Yoshim L'Rabbis says Ritzech is coming to include the Ritzech. That is the end of the Brisa. The Gemara asks, "My v'chein begoila." What's Pshat v'chein begoila? So we say Taki Kidatani, like we learned in the Pasuk in the Brisa. Yoshim but Haritzech Eretz HaKazosim. Pasuk says Yoshim Haritzech Eretz HaKazosim, which just implies Eretz HaKazosim. Yoshim the Einashav L'Machshik Zikavos. Pasuk says he returns Eretz HaKazosim. Right, so here we have a Brisa which is elaborating on the mission. We always have, the mission just says Tamaz Machlokes Remeah, and the mission that we learned together. Remeah and Yehuda, whether Chayzel Lishra or Loyal, doesn't explain the reasoning, doesn't explain the psukim, right? But here we have the Brisa which says, it's the Brisa which we mentioned earlier, yeah. When it says Lachuzas Avoishav, it's similar to exactly the same as the Brisa we started off with over here, because that Brisa is talking about Eved Ivri and saying Chein Begoila. But here we're bringing it's a different Brisa. Sorry. Yeah, Ketanya Yoshev Ritzech Eretz HaKazasa. The Eretz HaKazasa Shav the Eini Shav Machshech Zikavos. He returns the Eretz HaKazasa, which sounds the Eretz HaKazasa. He goes back to the land of his inheritance, but he doesn't go back to his job, the Machshech Zikavos, that which his fathers gave over to him, the respectable position. If he was a Nasi or Rosh Avbezn, like Rashi says, Divrei Yehuda. Meo Oimen no Afu Shav the Machshech Zikavos. The question is why the pasuk is Eretz HaKazasa, which seems to be limiting. So Gemara says, Gomer Shiva Shiva Mehasa. We learn Shiva Shiva Mehasa, which means to say that by Avedivri it says the word Yashuv, and here too it says the word Yashuv, and the word Yashuv by Avedivri is extra, right? Because it didn't need to say, as we mentioned earlier, right? But it just said the Shavuot Mishpach to Chuzas Avoisa. What's the extra word Yashuv? The extra word Yashuv is coming to learn the Shabbat to the case of Ritzech, where it also says the word Yashuv, and we learn the Yashuv is the same way as over there. Just like over there, according to Remeah, he's Shav L'Mashech Zikavos, he goes back to Shara, so too over here. Let's see Rashi. Rashi says,
Machloikis b'sheish we did, lachem we did. The shovel nishvachta the Abed Ivri by the case of the Abed Ivri, right? It's keshayoytz and the b'sheish we when it goes out in the 6th year yovel. So the pasuk says, yeah, the shovel nishvachta the lachuzas avois. So you say the mashach zikavois of the shrari goes back to the job, or he doesn't go back to the mashach zikavois, depending, right? The Einish of the mashach zikavois, right? He doesn't go back to mashach zikavois, meaning his shrari, his position of power or leadership. However, Rabbi Meir says that no, he even goes back to his job. The pasuk says, he learns Sefer the Milsa Remeo. This is the end of the Remeo. Maybe Raya, where he's giving a right to his opinion, the end of the pasuk, which he understands to mean now kol chezkes havoisa, to all the things that his parents have established from his father, the grandparents, his ancestors have established him, meaning the jobs that they have given over to him that he's inherited. Then the Rabbi says b'chein b'goyla. What's b'chein b'goyla? He says Rashi k'machloikas evet ivri kach machloikas b'ritzeach shegola. Just like there's machloikas evet ivri, whether he goes back to the shrara, to his respectable, to his position or not. So it is machloikas b'ritzeach shegola. V'choyz of a misa kohen goes back to his city, goes back to his family when the kohen gadol passes away. Meaning from the pasuk of evet ivri we learn it. When the pasuk says Yashav Kro Yiseir, it's an extra word because it didn't have to say it, right? The pasuk saying that the Abed, if he goes back, Shabbos that's it, period. He doesn't have to say the extra word Yashav again. So it's an extra word, Kro Yiseir. The extra word Yashav teaches me the Ritzech. We'll soon see later in the Bride, so that it's actually Xer Shava. And the extra word Yashav is used to apply whatever it's applied by Abed Ivri to the case of Reitzeh, because the word Yoshev is used in both cases, and the word by Abed Ivri of Yoshev is extra, so it's spare for Xer Shav, and we don't Xer Shav. The Rabbi says Reitzeh actually explains the mufna. The extra word Yoshev is mufna; it's available. It's not being used for anything. Lo dunei men Xer Shav to learn from it Xer Shav. What's the Xer Shav? And Nema kan Yoshev says by the Abed Ivri the word Yoshev, and Nema beritzeach Yoshev beritzeach l'Eretz HaKazasei. In Farish v'Ozl. My became a goyla, like the Bryce text says, became a goyla. On Maskana, Gomar Shiva Mehasim. The Maskana is that we learn Shiva. The Farish was meaning like the Gemara explains. My became a goyla. What's the Gemara? What does it mean? Became a goyla. On Maskana, the Gemara concludes and answers the question by saying Gomar Shiva Mehasim. That we learn Shiva, meaning we learn Xer Shava, Shiva. That says Yashav in one place, says Yashav in the other. Just like the Eved Ivri, the Yashav is according to Rameir Lamashach Ziku Avaisa. So too over here as well, he goes back the Mashach Zikavos. If Yehuda seemingly, who says that he doesn't go back, the Chura doesn't learn the Xer Shava, he doesn't hold the Xer Shava, or he doesn't think the word Yashav is mufna, it's available. Let's see Tais with Gama Shiva, where he goes a little bit into this topic, how it works going through Meir and Yehuda. Okay, we'll stop over here. And as Hashem, we'll see you all next week, I guess, with a new Perek.